guys, what is going on? This is the Club of the Man 1993 coming at you for just a random little topic video I wanted to do. Just sitting here, it's Friday night, watching a bunch of WWE 24 specials on the network. Just trying to see if I can watch all of them. So that's just what I've been doing tonight after I did my business I had to take care of tonight. Um, but this video I've been wanting to do for a while, for a few weeks now, I'd say. It's one of those videos I'm like, do I really do it or do I not do it? Because I just wanted to make sure I was coming across properly in this video. I don't want people to think, I'm bashing anybody for, their opinions on this talent, or if, people think I come across as crazy. Like, why the heck do you have this opinion of it, honestly? Because of how controversial this, well, I shouldn't really say controversial as in he cheats and whatnot, but in just way he's one of those guys that you have a love-hate relationship for, pretty much. Well, fandom, if you're, for just being a fan of wrestling. So I just wanted to do this video, which, as you see in the title, it's titled "My Honest Opinion of Roman Reigns." And feel free to leave your thoughts down in the comment section below as well. I know there's people that like Roman Reigns. They hate Roman Reigns. Me, it's one of those things where it's tough because I want to like him, but the WWE makes me not want to like him. But lately, I'm more so in just letting go of the fact that, what he represents to me. And I'm just saying, whatever. He's done all he can at this point, honestly. He has made the improvements. And yes, he's still being thrown into these positions. But at this point, I'm just like, just do it. To me, here's the thing. In 2014, when Roman Reigns first became a singles competitor after the Shield split up, I was already he was definitely one of my upcoming favorites, in my honest opinion. And I remember around SummerSlam that year, I remember one of my friends said, I honestly wouldn't mind him losing his match to Randy Orton at SummerSlam, because I've heard rumors that people are going to try to make him the next John Cena. He's good talent, but, and I thought to myself, yeah, I mean, let's talk about John Cena here real quickly. Like, John Cena, my honest opinion, I respect John Cena. I don't hate John Cena, but he's not like one of my number one favorites. He's not one of my top favorites. There's no doubt about it at all. But I still respect him. But I do understand why people can't stand him. There's been a few times where I've been, ticked off with his booking also. Most recent memory was his run when he returned for that flag match at Battleground that was just pointless to happen, and it just made Rusev look ridiculous. And then how his feud with Baron Corbin just cut off Baron Corbin's momentum just like that. The biggest problem fans had with John Cena, those who hate on John Cena, was for how many years John Cena always was in the main event scene. He got how many title opportunities for how many years? Around a time where it was either him, Randy Orton, or Triple H. And to me, I felt that went on until right after the title reign when he beat The Rock at WrestleMania 29 ended. When that title reign ended, it seemed like they finally, at least eased back a little bit, in my opinion, on John Cena until 2015 when he had that great run as U.S. champion and whatnot. And now today, he has his great moments. He has some of his bad moments. I just raved about his U.S. Open challenges and his promos with The Miz in his build-up to the mixed tag match at WrestleMania 33. But first, here's my question. Do I believe Roman Reigns is really John Cena 2.0? I'll be honest, at first, I did in 2015 because he was just resembling a lot of John Cena. With just a smile, just telling all these, corny little stories that Cena would at times. And Cena's also problem was his character was always the same exact thing. Roman Reigns, to me, didn't look like a guy who like John Cena, out there just always caring for the kids. But not saying nothing wrong with the young people. I have nothing against young people. I hope to have a family and have my own kids someday. But Roman Reigns to me does not look like that guy that could be, a duplicate of John Cena. after a while, see here, 2015 again. Let's get down to the honest truth, though, about Roman Reigns. The biggest reason why Roman Reigns is in the position he is today is not just because he gets pushed like crazy around WrestleMania season, or he gets 4 WrestleMania main events in a row. It's this idea that when he is being booked in those positions, it's not him. To me, it's the fact that Roman Reigns represents Vince McMahon and other people behind the scenes saying, screw you guys, this is what we're doing. They tried to push Roman Reigns at the wrong time because he had suffered an injury, that hernia that kept him out for about 3 months for most of the fall in 2014 that could have been time to help him, get over more with the crowd. I mean, he came off a nice, fresh victory over Randy Orton at SummerSlam. He was supposed to face Seth Rollins, and I had champions where he suffered that hernia injury. When he came back, though, that's when I really noticed he started going downhill. The promos he were cutting was awful. It was just obvious that he was not ready for that big picture yet. And also because it was right around the time where Daniel Bryan's, story, he was on the run of his career, had been out for 8 months with that neck surgery, and he came back, and the story was right there for Daniel Bryan to get everything he lost from that moment he had at WrestleMania 30 right back. And sadly, though, they treated Daniel Bryan, not just him, like crap, but everybody else like crap in the 2015 Royal Rumble match. No stars were established. The 2015 Royal Rumble match was not a failure because of Roman Reigns winning the match. No other stars were utilized. Heck, it could have came down to Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan, Rusev, and Dolph Ziggler. There's a good Final Four right there. And that would have, at least, been better. Daniel Bryan could have won that Royal Rumble, and he could have been having to, try to take out the Big Show and Kane. 2 guys that are just, again, future Hall of Famers, but way past their prime, and no need to be in the position where they were to make it just so obvious that Roman was going to win. And nobody else just, came out of that match looking strong at all. So, again, Roman, himself wasn't really one of his best appearances at Rumble, because the year before, when he eliminated 12 superstars, he was killing it. That was Roman's best Rumble appearance, no doubt about it. But then the build to him and Brock for WrestleMania 31 was bad. The match, and people say the match at WrestleMania 31 is only enjoyed because of the cash by Seth Rollins. I mean, if you think that, that's fine. I respect you. My personal opinion, though, I still think with Seth's cash in or not, Brock and Roman still did put on a pretty darn good physical match. And then they slowed him down finally. They started to get him heated back up into the main event scene, though, when he was supposed to feud with Seth Rollins for the WWE Championship at Survivor Series until he got hurt. And then they had the tournament, which it was kind of obvious going to come down to Roman and Dean, but that wasn't I wasn't too ticked off about it at the time. And they were trying to set the storyline with Roman Reigns and Triple H, even though the only other person to really help push Roman Reigns at the time was Sheamus, which, again, no offense, but Sheamus was not built up as a strong Money in the Bank contender to be a world champion at the time. He's still a great talent, works hard, whatnot, but he was not by any means, in a position to be a good world champion at the time when he cashed in on Roman. And then the build for him and Triple H started off good, and it was finally, okay, this is a Roman we want to see, not this easygoing guy. This guy who's just a badass and would literally do it. He didn't care at all, do whatever the heck he had to do to get what he wanted. And that's why he got the reaction he did when he won the championship off of Sheamus, the Raw after TLC. But then they screwed up big time, because after Triple H returned, after being gone for a month when Reigns beat the crap out of him at TLC, which was an awesome beatdown, they said that Roman was not going to get any more opportunities as long as Triple H was champion, and they just handed him an opportunity later on that night. They didn't even make him work for it. They just handed it to him. And all I kept asking was, the story was just obviously just bad from there on down. I kept asking for just at least a good match. Because Triple H and Roman Reigns was a dream match of mine ever since the Shield and Evolution feuded back in 2014. But nope, I'm sorry. That match was an absolute crap fest. In my opinion, the worst match of the year in 2016. And honestly, I could say 2016 was probably Roman's worst year for the most part because of, his build to his WrestleMania feud. I mean, in some ways, though, I can't say completely he was that bad because his feud with AJ Styles as champ was good. I'll give it to that. Roman Reigns, except for one title reign, which took place in 2016, that was his U.S. title reign. I felt Roman Reigns, for the most part, has been booked at his best as champion. And that's fine. I feel like he's booked at his worst, of course, when he's chasing a title. Because, once again, it's always like he's thrown into these positions where it's like, oh, it's the authorities again saying, screw what you guys think. We're doing whatever the heck we want to do. And then, he got this suspension, and I was worried they were just going to put the title right back on when he came back, but they didn't. And then they had him feud with Rusev for the U.S. title, which it pretty much was treated like a demotion. Like, he had it, but it was like the U.S. title didn't even exist when he had it. 2017, though, is when I could say I feel Roman Reigns started to become his own, though. Meaning that, like, the whole, like, idea of him being John Cena 2.0 wore off. Because I saw Roman Reigns more so discovering himself, if you guys know what I mean. To me, I felt like he developed that character more smug and, yes, he's still a baby face, but he's that character, like, he brought more real accounts saying, you guys may like this, or you probably may not like this, but this is how it is pretty much. Like, he had that more smug look. I think his promo skills got better, especially when he feuded with John Cena. And yes, I know when the way he beat John Cena at No Mercy, it just felt like, oh, here it goes again. Because, we thought Reigns was going in some different direction, and, like, this is obviously setting him up for a direction to eventually get to Brock Lesnar. Well, I mean, the Shield came back, but let's be real here, honest opinion. Like I said earlier, when John Cena was getting his, like, mega push for how many years, as I said, he was always in the main event scene and always going for the main event title. Roman Reigns was not. Think about it. Roman Reigns, let me see here, he did not win at the Royal Rumble, even though, another thing I gotta mention too, him being in the 2017 Royal Rumble was a huge mistake at number 30. With how great that Rumble was built, how we didn't know who the heck was going to win that match, and that number 30 spot feeling like it's a big deal, to give it to Roman was literally them going, ha ha, we got you, it's Roman again. That ticked me off. But think of it this way, he didn't win that. Yes, he won at Fastlane and at Mania, but he lost at Payback. He lost at Extreme Rules. He lost at Great Balls of Fire. And he lost at SummerSlam. There was 4 pay-per-views right there that he did not win at all. They didn't, like, give him, like, the big spotlight. He wasn't at TLC and then Survivor Series. Well, he won there with the Shield. But, the run that the Shield had, yeah, it was brief, but, for the most part, it was enjoyable. It hindered a little bit since Roman was out due to the mumps. And Kurt Angle took his place in the match at TLC, which was fun, but it kind of made the match feel a little pointless, though, because, like, what was the point of having, like, a 5-on-3 handicap match just because, with 3 random guys on 5 random guys, you know what I mean? But anyways, like, Roman, the last year, Roman just felt like he was just, like, became his own. Like, a different character, like, not completely, like, John Cena 2.0. He felt like he was his own. But, like I said before, the way he beat John Cena and how, like, it ended, like, I was hoping Roman would have, whether Roman would have beat Cena or not, he would have, done, like, a beatdown on him and with some way to set up for, like, another match between them. Like, I wanted that to be a match at WrestleMania 34, like, last summer at this time. But they did it at No Mercy instead. However, though, it's like, even when he's the Shield and his run of the Intercontinental Championship, I couldn't be upset about it. He defended the title. It was just a plain and simple story with him being the title. And in some ways, it's just like, at this point, the guy's improved. His promo skills are a ton better. He's always had the in-ring wrestling. And then, yes, I will give it the fact also for this year. There was no story with him getting to the Royal Rumble match. Not at all. But I was glad to see him put over Shinsuke Nakamura, being one of the two people, him and Cena, both put over Nakamura. And then my thing was, he could win the chamber match, but there had to be a story. Yes, there was not. However, though, at this point, I would much rather see Roman Reigns win the championship at WrestleMania than Brock Lesnar. Because of, how Brock Lesnar just doesn't seem like he cares that much anymore when he's in his matches. No offense. Brock's definitely entertained me, several times, but I've kind of grown kind of flat on Brock. And, I understand, yes, Roman beat Braun Strowman in the chamber after Strowman eliminated 5 people, and Roman didn't really do much at all in that chamber match. I completely understand, and I wasn't a fan of that either. But at that point, I was like, we knew it was going to happen, whatever. And the promo that Roman shot on Raw last week, I'm like, yes, we have a story here. Roman's the last time, the two of them barely crossed paths, and it's like, oh, I'm going to beat you. I'm going to beat you. And they had a tug of war. Well, I think already so far, the story for this feud is already starting off great, with Roman just shooting on Brock for what we all know who he is. And yes, I get, it's just a WWE doing their ways trying to get us behind Roman Reigns, but honestly, to me, it worked. It really did work. And for once, it didn't sound like a scripted fake speech that just felt like it was just Vince talking and not the talent himself. But I just felt like it was Roman talking from the heart, whatnot. And my honest opinion, I'm just like, I get it. This guy represents, the creative team saying, again, screw you all. This is how things are going to be. But I can't fully say with how he's been booked in 2017 and so far this year, I don't want to be that guy that's just going to hate on everything that he does. He's a good talent, and, he does deserve some of the success he has. Yes, it would be nice to have a story to some of these things. Yes, it would be nice to have someone different in his place. I agree. But at this point, what I'm trying to say is I know Roman Reigns is a good talent. And yes, I do want to like him. And now it's just screw it. I'm a fan of him. Let's just be honest here in a minute. And yes, it would be nice if they would, because at this point, when he beats Brock at WrestleMania 34, which is most likely going to happen, there really isn't going to be anything else for him to do. And they only really push him that strong, that hard though, around WrestleMania because they want him to be in the main event every year. Even though it's okay, you did this for so long, he's hanging around doing this good feud with Braun Strowman, and you're kind of time right now, boom, oh, we're going to make him a world champion all of a sudden again for WrestleMania season. Yes, I get it. But to me, it's I still see the talent in the guy. He's improved a lot with his promos after the whole suffering succotash Jack and the Beanstalk crap he cut back in 2015. He's always had the in-ring wrestling. I think he's got a better character. I personally just think it's time that I just let go of this whole controversial thing and just accept the fact that, the guy does entertain me. And I want to see him beat Brock at WrestleMania because that way the title will be back on a full-timer. And I think, as I said before, with the exception of his U.S. title run, Roman has done some of his best work as champion. As Intercontinental champion, he had great matches with Elias, Cesaro, Samoa Joe. I think he may have faced one or two other people. I can't remember who he faced as Intercontinental champion, but that was a great run. That's what he should have been booked as when he was United States champion, instead of barely defending it like he did. But, yeah, it's pretty darn obvious that, I've always wanted to like Roman Reigns, but WWE made it difficult for me to because I hate his booking. And yes, he still has his moments where I'm like, ugh. But in my opinion, they've somewhat toned down on him. And then, yes, WrestleMania season back up, boom, they're bringing back up on him. But, to me, he's done the things that, again, have wanted me to say, I don't have that big of an issue with Roman Reigns anymore, honestly, in my opinion. I mean, I may hear near my reviews saying, they're doing it again, whatnot. But honestly, there's a lot more in this company that, I look forward to. It's not like, I've said before, I'm a baseball fan. And, what's tough is that, I can't always see every team play all the time during the season. Me, it's basically, my hometown team, the Pirates. And the Pirates have, given me hope for a few years, and now they're going downhill. But like this year, I'm done having the Pirates define my whole experience. I just want to enjoy baseball for what it is. For wrestling, I'm done with holding on to this whole big controversy of what Roman Reigns always seems represents. Just appreciating the talent he is, and just hoping for a good match between him and Brock. I'll be honest and say if it was a good or bad match. I'll be real. But they've already put on a good match one time. Yes, he'll probably. I am worried though this match will feel similar to Cena and Rock 2 at WrestleMania 29. That's the thing I'm worried about. But if they just go out there and just beat the heck out of each other, put on another kick-ass match like they did at WrestleMania 31, and this time it'll be just one-on-one with their unfinished business, I won't be able to complain. Just put on a good match, and I'll be fine. But that is what I wanted to do. Just state my honest opinion about Roman Reigns. I know, again, I may get some big heat, like, you're crazy for even sticking up for the guy and whatnot, but, he's a good talent. He's still done good things, even though he's somewhat of a controversial figure, in my honest opinion. If you don't like Roman Reigns, that's completely fine. I just ask, just don't bash me for feeling this way. And anybody else who's a Roman Reigns fan as well, or even a John Cena fan, or, anybody else who feels like just gets over pushed. Like people have been at times. But that is my thoughts on my honest opinion about Roman Reigns. Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. Click that like and subscribe to this channel. Follow me on Twitter as always at DemandAirborne93. I'll catch you guys later. Until then, guys, have a good night.